Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adini Jishafe. Why Nigerians are so happy for the fact that finally World Athletics have ratified the record broken by Nigerian star. Talking about Tobi Amusan for the fact that she was able to run 12.12 seconds in that race that took place in Eugene, Oregon at the World Athletics. Right now, good one. At least we have this Nigerian making us so proud internationally for the fact that she did it sometimes back. You have to celebrate her Tobi Amusan there. Well, we'll be having that story as the first we'll be looking at with Ayo Adams in the studio. Good to have you, Ayo. Good one. Let's start with this particular story. What athletics ratified 12.12 seconds run by Tobi Amusan there alongside Duplantis, not forgetting McLaughlin and also Tebogo. But for Nigerian lady Tobi Amusan, when you look at this particular record, no one saw that coming, that particular race. The semi-final, it was a fantastic one for Tobi because she surprised everyone. Prior to this competition, she actually ran, she was on 12.40, 12.45 and all that. But this time around, she blazed the trail and she really ran her race to the end, running 12.12 seconds. And afterward, even the final, the one that is being rated wind aided, but to run 12.06 in child's play. But for the fact that this has been ratified by World Athletics, formerly IWAF, shows that really they've agreed and has at least confirmed to the whole world that no one has ever done this. She has broken the record of Kenny Harrison, the one they call Kendra, and right now this lady has done well this year. Really, it's Tobi's year.
Yeah, it is a year, and I mean, just like her name signifies, Tobi, she's quite big, and she's big in the eyes of the world. She's big in the eyes of the world. Imagine how magnitude she is in the eyes of Nigerians, you know. And it's been surreal for her for the fact that she's been trying repeatedly. There was also a time where she had it written somewhere in one of their boards that she was going to get there, and she indeed got there. And not just getting there, she smashed the record, something that's never been done. And for we now to have the World Athletics ratifying it, put it in the record books, that means till generations to come, it will be spoken about. It will be sung graciously that one lady from Nigeria, hailing from the shores of our country, I mean, has made this big landmark, this huge, tremendous, I mean, achievement. It's a big one. It's a big win for the continent, and it's a really, really big one for Nigerians, and a big one for all the young athletes, girl, boy, around the world that wants to participate in athletics. And this should also enlighten the Athletics Federation in the country and the sports federations that, look, this is one person. She, alongside this Brumi, had smashing records all over the world. What should we do? We should start prepping for the next Tobi Amusan. That's what we should start doing now. She should be glorified, and she should be put there as a pinnacle, I mean, of substance to everybody to look at and look, this is our thing. And I'm really glad that she did it.
I actually forgot to add OON to her name.
OON, apologies.
Yes, OON, at least Order of Niger right now has been added to her name. And at least you have to appreciate what this lady has actually done this year. Aside this, she also went to the Commonwealth Games, and still she won the Commonwealth Games. And recently, she also came first, 12.29 seconds at the Diamond League, where no one actually believed she could do it. Against all odds, she still came back there and she was able to do it. So this year, Tobi has virtually won everything. In fact, Camacho Queen, who really has been a thorn in the flesh for Tobi, and the Americans, the Jamaicans of this world, right now, the fear of Tobi is the beginning of wisdom, because it seems she has really blew everyone away. You
have to fear Tobi. And one thing I think the world will stop saying now is they didn't expect it. When you see Tobi Amusan, you should expect it, because she is a world record breaker, and that's what you should be looking at when you see an athlete. I mean, it does the fact the way athleticism has been in Africa, especially in Nigeria, they've not been really exceptionally dominant. That's why that award they didn't expect. Even while they were commentating when she broke the record, they didn't believe she could do it.
They were not believing it. Even when the race got to the middle of the pack, they were still thinking, okay, maybe
someone else
would take it. But, and she never allowed that to happen.
She didn't let that happen, and that's a mark of a champion. That's a mark of a world champion, and she has shown her feet to the world, and she will continue to do so. I have no doubt.
She will continue to do so. Tobi Lover Motion coasting home in all the races so far this year, and really 2022 has been Tobi's year, and really she has really done well for Nigeria. That's why just what athletics is confirming that not only her anyway, about 4 of them, adding more 3. We have to talk about Duplantis when it comes to pole vault. The Duplantis record 6.21 in men's pole vault is also standing. That's a record broken by him. And you also have McLaughlin 50.68 in the women's 400-meter hurdles. Good one there. That's one time round the stadium. World under 20 mark of 9.94 of Leslie Tebogo. Tebogo really did well. The guy from Botswana really showed his class when it comes to the world athletics. That's the junior category, and right now he's also having his own standing 9.94 seconds for an African. So right now we have 2 Africans breaking record this year, and we just have to celebrate what they've done. Tobi Amushan and also Lebogo for what they did, Tebogo rather, for Africa, and also Nigeria and Botswana. Talking about athletics there. Right now we move away from athletics, why we consider to be really a legend when it comes to hurdles for women 100 meters. Let's go football, rather volleyball. Let's talk volleyball right now. Nigerian Volleyball Premier League is taking place in Akure, and the ladies and men are really fighting hard to see how they can better their lot in this sport of volleyball. Let's look at some fixtures. They'll be playing some matches actually today. They resume after some a break, about a 2 or 1 day break. Now they are back to fighting for honors. Quickly, let's look at the fixtures of the Nigerian Volleyball Premier League. The 5 fixtures there. Those matches will be coming up, and quickly we look at it, and we have Nigerian Immigration Service facing NSCDC, that is civil defense. For women, they have the 7th anyway, Nigerian Customs Service against Benue Queens. Kwara United Volleyball Club, they will be playing against Kada Emirates in another scintillating performance coming from the 2 teams there. For men, they'll be having their day 5, Kwara United Volleyball Club against Nigerian Police Force. Offa Volleyball Club, the only club yet to get a defeat there. They have been winning all their team matches rather. They've won 4 right now. They defeated Kano Pillars, almost everyone. They blew everyone away there. Offa Volleyball Club against Nigerian Customs Service. Correctional Service is facing Kano Pillars, while Kada Kings play against Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Chief of Army Staff Spikers will be spiking against Sunshine Spiker. When you have 2 spikers, what happens? They'll be spiking everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing that really brightens my mind about the volleyball is the fact that it's back in the news. I mean, we know how consistent we should be in our sporting activities. We've only been hearing football. If not for Tobi Amusan, Ese Brume, and all the magnificent Nigerians that represented us at other athletics, we wouldn't hear athletics this year, because it's just been year in, year out of things being stepped away. But now, you can not even hear that volleyball is back. Yeah, it's been played locally and nationally, but it's a start. I mean, and then looking at Offa FC VC just defeating everybody. I mean, 4 matches on a row. It's a good thing to see that they are bringing the activities back, because it's been really, really watered down. And I like some of the names I've been seeing there, the correctional services.
Yes, all the paramilitary.
Paramilitary. I mean, it's inclusion in sports. That's what we want to see. It's not, you don't have to be a magnificent athlete to participate in sport. But the fact that you can be taught how to do so, the fact that we still have, and I love the names, kind of like the spikers, the COS, the correctional,
yes.
the NCDs. I mean, it brings more enlightenment to it. I mean, it brings more inclusion.
Kada Emirates, Kada Kings.
Kada Kings. I mean, and those 2 spikers will say who will spike the most. But that's one good thing to see. And I really, really just wish all of them best of luck. And then the top teams, I mean, if they're ready to represent us anywhere else, if they are good enough, but then let's see, maybe Offa will eventually emerge the champions.
Well, from the way they are going right now, Offa Volleyball Club seems to be kind of invincible. They've been beating everyone, 4 matches, 4 wins, and they have 12 points, topping the table for men. And really, no one actually saw that coming. Although they've been fantastic, but when you think volleyball, your mind will go to some clubs like Kano Pillars, Nigeria Customs, Nigerian Immigration, and all that. But Offa Volleyball Club just came, and right now this year they seem to be ready to at least beat everyone.
I mean, it's all down to preparation. I mean, at the end of the day, when when they've probably seen the other teams, the immigration service and every other team, the Canopilas ones, they've probably seen them and studied them, and they probably just know that, okay, no problem, we have our own opportunity to take the bull by its horn. They might probably have watched the clips and seen, because now, I mean, we're provided with parts match clips to see lapses, or they are just a formidable team who understands how to play, what to play, and when to play, and when to attack their opponent. So I think they might be able to take the day, but if you can see the Canopilas and Customs, they need to put up a fight if they want to take the championship away. But I mean, Offa is still probably the most formidable ones.
And when you look at volleyball in Nigeria, we hosted the under-19 women here in Abuja, where almost the 3 nations actually play: Nigeria, Egypt, and Morocco. Though we came third as the host, but really it shows that volleyball has come to stay, because the federation, they are really doing a wonderful job. Our under-19 boys went to Egypt, Morocco, and they were able to blow everyone away. They won the competition. They defeated everyone. They didn't lose any game, and they came back with the trophy. And that shows that really, that's under 19. And you have the guys, the men, the women, the senior teams. They are also there trying to show that, yes, when it comes to volleyball, we are one of the best in Africa, and we will never, ever drop our button. But you just have to give it up to Nigerian Volleyball Federation.
Yeah, like I said, it's quite remarkable that it's come back into light. For the past couple of years, I've not been hearing anything. It's probably one faction having an issue with another faction. So I love the fact that they've put aside their differences and prioritize the athletes. They want to play. They have the ability. I mean, look at the under-19. Clean sweep, went out, came back with a trophy. That's what we want to see. And that breeds a lot of confidence, not just for the under-19s, even for the senior teams too, even for the younger ones, even for anyone who wants to join volleyball. Now you see that it's functional, and then you can step into that space and be able to achieve something. So, I mean, it's remarkable for them. I'm really, really excited that they did win.
Excited for the ladies and also the guys. They've been playing Akure, talking about Nigerian Volleyball Premier League. It has been ongoing there, where the big boys have been showing their class. Kada Kings, Kada Emirates, Nigeria Immigration Service, and all the teams, both of our volleyball club, have been very outstanding in this competition. We'll be giving you more concerning the development there coming from Akure, where the Premier League is ongoing. Now we just have to look at Nigerian, that's Super Eagles now, Algeria versus Nigeria. Super Eagles hold first training in Constantine. That's the first training they had just yesterday, finally, when all the boys finally arrived. Now they will be playing, though we actually learned that they'll be playing 2 games. Yep. Well, but before we actually get to that, but let's talk about this. Super Eagles right now, they are trying to use this to fine-tune the team after the ouster from World Cup and all the friendlies and all that. But this time around, playing against Algeria, it's not just a friendly. It's a lot of things, because one, they want to see how, okay, these guys have been playing their clubs, how fit are they? And we've seen some players opting out because of injury. Ahmed Musa, Balogun, not forgetting Chukwueze, Oyekuru, and they brought in another 4, Ozori 1-4, Savior, not forgetting Dennis. Although Dennis opted out, actually we learned that Dennis is not coming because of maybe one reason or the other. But right now, the guys are back in training. That was the first training they had. Now Dennis is out, and according to the news reaching out, that Coach Pizarro might not just give any call up again for the fact that it's a bit late. Let them just play the way whoever is there that can fit in, they'll play the player. But right now, Eagles are back as a family. They're trying to at least forget the past, move forward. And how do you see this team?
Yeah, honestly, if you don't forget the past, you keep living in it. And that's one thing we've been doing for a long time, the complacency, the past glory mentality, that when Nigeria were a big team, and all this and that. And that's what really got us to the situation where we are sitting out, as opposed to preparing for the World Cup, we're preparing for a friendly. I mean, you know, but it's, since Pizarro has come, his game, his style of play, his setup, his tactics they've been quite different from what we've been seeing. I like the flair that he has brought into the team, the fluidity, allowing the players to explore more. You know, Nigerians, there's this amount of fear that we used to play with. That look at when we track it back to the AFCON, the first game that we actually got attacked, we lost. So eventually now Pizarro has come in, his standard of playing has changed, and I also love the fact that we have a large pool of players to pick from. around the world, we have Nigerians who are really, really good. If you think a player is out and you think that player is the one that can solve a problem, that's a big lie. We have abundance.
Indispensable.
We have like 8, 9 attackers in the world who are just flourishing. Terry Murphy, Dessers, a lot of them that have just been flourishing. So if anyone is out of the team, whoever is out of the team should start to pray that whoever is coming in really doesn't perform, because if
that person will actually take your place, that's why no one is
nobody should be indispensable right now. This is a time to rebuild. We are not at the World Cup, so there's really nothing major to play for. This is supposed to build a team. Build a team that's ready to compete for the next AFCON, for the next World Cup qualifiers, for the next competitions that are coming up, and it starts with these games. They need to show us that they are worthy of putting on these jerseys, because it's not just about coming to represent your country. It's not just about the hype and the glory and the photo ops and the optics. It's the fact that we've gotten to a level where we need to come back on top as Nigeria, as football. We need to be there. We need to go back into that contention and conversation that Nigeria is a powerhouse of football, and they need to respect us, and they need to give it to us by winning those games.
They just have to do well, as Eagles will be fighting out against Algeria in a friendly come Tuesday over there in Oran, Algeria. They right now are together in camp and they'll be playing training. They had it first training on Tuesday. Coach Pizarro is trying to get the teams together to get them in high spirit ahead of that particular friendly. But before that friendly, according to the news regional, they'll be playing two friendly in Algeria. One against, that's the next story we're looking at. Super Eagles to play 2 friendly games in Algeria. One against the Team B of Algeria, just like Half-Chan Eagles. And the second will be against the main team, the Algeria, where you have the likes of Riyad Mahrez coming on at least to play against Nigeria there. Well, I love the fact that we're trying to make it 2 in 1. We play against the Chan Algeria, and they will play against the Algeria main team. That's the Desert Foxes, as they call them. Even though it's painful, I wanted to actually see Ahmed Musa's form after he signed for Sivasspor with Eagles and all that. But although injury didn't allow that, Sadiq Umar is injured. Seems injury is an item right now in Super Eagles camp. Even now, even the players are there. Some of them actually have knocks, even though that one didn't start to come for this particular friendly. But right now, 4 or 5 players are down in Eagles and they are out of the game. Even the one in camp, they are still one way or the other issue of injury.
That's why I said it's good to have a large pool of players to pick from. I'm going to come on the other side. Ahmed Musa should recuperate from his injury, but if he's not in the team, I don't really see it affecting us. He's been a great player for us as a captain, as a goal scorer. He's been amazing. But let's usher in new blood. Even if he was around, I wouldn't want him on a 90-minute game. I'd like to see the other young ones who are there. Let's see something new. The old ones can be there, and they are there backing them up, coming in the final minutes of the game to show their experience. But if you don't give these young ones the opportunity to show them so that they have the class, and I mean, we won't be able to. The Ahmed Musa we're talking about was to discovery, was when he was young. So there's always room. I mean, there's the old gen is going out. This is the new gen of football, and Pesero has a large pool of young, brilliant players. They just need to find that working structure. So you look at Argentina, they were lacking for a long amount of time, even with Messi in the team. Right now, they found a team that works for them. This is our time. So with the players on injuries, players on knocks, I know that the coach would be able to know the players when they do their physios when they come in. I think that should be the first thing that they do. Your medicals, your physios, to see how fit you are for the games. If they see the ones that were a bit of knock, don't let it complicate their season.
Because they are going back to their clubs.
And the teams, that was one of the reasons where they complicated the AFCON too, with players being, clubs don't want to release their players. So minimal training, minimal physicality, play fluid football. And I mean, I hope they win the 2 games. I want them to win the 2 games, and I know they should win the 2 games, but the Desert Foxes are not an easy opponent to get by.
You know how tricky Foxes can be.
They are very cunning.
They are Desert Fox, so they can be very cunning. I know North Africans, they don't joke with West African nation. The rivalry is not from here as we speak in Nigerian parlance, but really, we hope that Nigeria, that Super Eagles can actually do well. Well, as we speak right now, just before now, we saw the picture there of Saviour, Lukman, and also the goalkeeper goalkeeper, Adelaya Adebayo. They've all arrived camp, and now the camp has actually swelled to the brim. So the players are ready, talking about Super Eagles. They want to fake the Foxes on Tuesday and also making sure they play the second one. That's the Chan Algerian team. Well, we hope that they will do well. According to Ayo Adams, he wished that they win the 2 games. At least while we are fine-tuning, let's fine-tune well. Good one for Ebube Duru. Ebube Duru, a player of Rivers United, has been given the chance to also join this particular team. Well, that's the only home base, but at least let's see how he can justify that, being the only player selected by Coach Pizarro for the friendlies there. Well, we go international. Let's look at UEFA Women's Champions League. Well, 4 matches were actually played, and we look at those results quickly, where Benfica defeated Rangers 3-2. Ajax against Arsenal ended 2-2. You have Kogi Women against Juventus Feminal 1-1. Real Sociedad Feminico, well, it ended, they lost against Bayern Munich Women as expected. What do you expect? Well, that's football. Well, as it went down, good one for all the clubs that participated.
Yeah.
That won, rather.
Yeah. The one I would even lay more focus on is the Real Sociedad Women. It's their debut season in the UEFA Women Champions League.
And Bayern came and started beating them.
Well, it's a debut season. What do you expect? You get beaten by a club such as Bayern. Yeah, it's experience. But one thing is the support that has been shown for women football. The Real Sociedad Stadium had over 11,000 fans in attendance. That's a big one for the women's football. I mean, it all started when the Barcelona women started to have over 90,000 crowd at match day. So it's really, really growing, and the publicity given to it. But then it's not just publicity alone. These women can actually play football. I love the fact that really women football is really getting that acceptance. You know, before it was a kind of a bit shaky, but right now it's very stable. Fans are coming to the stadium to watch 40,000, 50,000. The one between Real Sociedad versus Bayern Munich Women, 9,000 thereabout. 11,000 rather. And you can imagine people watching, whoa, Champions League women, let's enjoy this. A good one, although for Arsenal versus Ajax, it was a tough one. It ended in a draw 2-2, while the men's were actually leading the pack. The women too, they fought hard, even though they couldn't win at home. Yeah, I mean, it's just the starting stages. There's still room for development. There's still room for you to pick up more wins. I mean, early wins are, okay, wake up. Wake up. If you want to stay in this competition, you need to get your hands ready. And I mean, the Arsenal women, they're not a bad team. They do their own beats too. So, but then it's 2 teams compiled of multiple brilliant stars. So I expect something from the Arsenal women in the next match day.
Benfica traveled to Rangers and they were able to do it 3-2. Goal rush there. 5 goals were scored. For Benfica, a Portuguese team, the ladies really show how to speak Portuguese with their feet.
Well, one thing that's been quite evident is the fact that in women's football you see a lot of goals being scored. And it's just a matter of who can dominate more. And I've seen that they've gone to show their feet there that, look, whether at home, whether away, you will pick up a win, and that's what we love to see. You know, there's always been that mentality of a home team will always take the day, and then these women are just telling you, like, if you look, the majority of the wins have come from the away teams. So the home team should really pick up their horses and wake up to play football.
They should just pick up the pieces. They are giving you Champions League as it went down concerning the women just yesterday. Well, we'll take the last one. Has to do with the man of the moment. Although he's being run after by OGC Nice, they are talking with Pochettino Mauricio, the man that left PSG right now to take place and replace Lucien Favre, who actually has been removed. Well, from the way it is now, OGC, according to them, they said Pochettino believes in their project, and that's why they've been talking with him, and probably, who knows, maybe this can actually see the light of the day, although no one will expect that Pochettino will go down to OGC, with all due respect to OGC, but someone that has been there, Tottenham to PSG and all that, then to OGC, well, they'll be able to convince him that we have a project just like Newcastle United.
Yeah. It's just like what you said. No disrespect to OG Nice, but it's a downgrade for Mauricio Pochettino. I mean, and I think it all started from the fact that when he got to PSG, being unable to manage the egos and everything. But at the end of the day, it's football. If you love the game of football, you wouldn't mind where you want to go to and show your class as a world-class manager.
After all, Benitez went to Everton.
If he wants to show his pedigree, OG is a place to go. They have a project. They believe that he believes in their project. If he comes in with a credible plan, working plan that works for them, in a couple of seasons, if they see that it's great enough, he would go back into the top flight football, managing bigger teams. But I mean, there's always ups and downs when it comes to coaches and football. He's gotten
his own downtime.
Yeah, his own downtime.
Right?
He has gotten his time in the sun.
Maybe he can turn this around with OGC Nice. Maybe at least his experience with Tottenham Hotspur and also PSG. Then who knows? Okay, I'm coming to do something against PSG when I face them.
Well, that would be the best thing for him to do if he gets signed.
If he can, if he can beat PSG.
Beat PSG and send a message.
Oh my goodness, that would be a fantastic
that would be
one.
a fantastic one.
And you look at PSG really, after they actually sack him and they took over as the man that took over. Well, they've been able to achieve some things, topping the table in the French League One. And let's see if the man of the moment, I call him that name because right now it seems that's the biggest news in France now concerning OGC Nice coming for Pochettino. Well,
we'll see at the end of the day. Like I said, he needs to come back and prove himself, because when you come into a team with superstars such as Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, and you were not able to figure out something, people start to have doubts. But he did it in the Tottenham team where he groomed them up. OG Nice is a place to start again.
Let's see where we'll be starting again, talking about Pochettino, Mauricio there. Ayo Adams, appreciating the fact that you're here.
Always, Mr. Ney.
I am Adeni Ajishafe. Sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.